Hi, Lions. I'm Passenger Governor Mary Jane Bodnar, and I know that many of you don't recognize my face or my name, but I am a past district governor from Southern California, 2013-14, and I moved to the Carmel Lions Club in 2018. It's been my pleasure to serve with this great group of Lions helping to plan the Midwinter Conference. I'm here today with past International Director Linda Tincher, and I'm sure you all know her. And we've got some other Lions from around Indiana here showing us and helping us with ideas on how to put fun back in fundraising. Lions representing 3 different projects from 3 different districts will be sharing their ideas with you today. We want to take a minute to thank our speakers for taking the time out of their busy schedules to share their experiences with us and help us learn more about these great projects. Please feel free to post your questions in the chat area, and if time allows, we'll have question and answer period at the end of the presentations. So let's get started, and I'm going to turn it over now to past International Director Linda to introduce our first guest speakers.
Thank you very much, Mary Jane. I appreciate that. We're going to get started right here. We're going to be talking for the next 40 minutes or so about how to put the fun back in fundraising. And we're starting out with 2 past district governors from 25A at the moment. Yes, that's 2 of them. They're from the same family, Connie and Kevin Rowe. They're the members of the Winamac Lions Club. And what could be more relaxing than going fishing someplace? Kevin's going to share with us exactly how this turns into a fundraiser and how relaxing and how much fun this can be. So Kevin and Connie, tell us a little bit about this project.
Well, thank you, Pastor National Director Linda. Around 2011, it's been some time ago, I was approached by the sitting governor at the time to put on a fishing and camping weekend for the blind and visually impaired. And to do that, where do you start at, actually? It was a long process, but really the first year was just forming a committee for venue and discussing activity agenda on how to reach out to kids due to the HIPAA laws and things like that. And so 1 year was already behind us. We hadn't done much of anything yet. And then the second year, we went to the Midwinter Conference and spoke with a couple of teachers from the ISBBI on any ideas that they could give us, and deciding the types of activities, how to reach the children and their families, marketing ideas. And the school helped in getting the NFB involved to provide activity ideas and the do's and don'ts of the thing. So now that was 2 years gone by, and we haven't even really had a thing going on yet. And we attended the NFB convention in Indianapolis and a local NFB chapter in Valpo for support suggestions. That was the second year, and we finally got clubs or meetings together with the committee, and we started approaching local clubs for some money, some funds to help with this. And we even went to Cabela's, Bass Pro Shop, Walmart, Meijer for financial help and donation of anything that would help with the event, and explained to them what we were doing, so they had a better idea of it. And Cabela's and Bass Pro all were was behind us all the way. And the first year, like I said, it's to find the money. It was hard, but the eyeglass recycling in District 25A helped us out big in that first year. And then late Doug Smeltz and Lion Angie started promoting tours where some of the proceeds were donated to the FFL, Fishing for Life. And they take bus tours several, once a year around the country. And part of their proceeds went to us and other projects. You want to jump in?
Oh, you're doing great.
Okay. As time went on, and the money was, we had money, but everything's very, very expensive. We rent tents, so they had to, where we could all eat under a tent out of the sun. And we decided, Butch and Rhonda Weston, we used their property for it. And decided to put up some sort of a shoulder on one of the barns they had there. Well, we thought it might take a year or two to get that done. Well, a lot of people came together, club members from other clubs in the area, and came together, and we actually built a shelter with a bathroom, shower, and a kitchen and common eating area. Labor and money was donated by a lot of clubs and businesses.
Had a lot of help from the Leos too.
And a lot of help from the local Leo club that got involved with this, and they've been with us since day one on this. And from there it grew into including blind and visually impaired adults. We had some kids, but adults became involved in it, and it was discovered that both age groups learn from one another. And they had to learn get resources from each other. And then, it was fun, a lot of fun. But Butch Weston, we have several programs that we do and try to change them up every year or so. But Butch has really approached the local police and fire departments, and they come in, they do demonstrations and provide programs for us throughout the day. And some of those examples were when the very first year we had a bomb dog come in with the police department, and the kids got to play in the squad cars.
One interesting thing about the bomb dog I remember was that they don't teach the dog the commands in English.
Right.
And that's because if they're out in the public where people speak English and the kids or adults, whoever, try to give them a command, the dog won't respond. So they teach them in German.
Right. And we had a police helicopter come out one year, which was an exciting thing. We didn't know whether it was going to show up or not. And these guys, they volunteer their time for this. They don't ask for us a donation to them. Sometimes we give them one, but they do this on their own time. And the police helicopter, actually, we knew it was coming because it came around the back of the woods and came up over the woods and landed in a field right next to our camping area. And then the fire department brings out a smokehouse where the kids can go in and learn to get out of a house that's full of smoke. And introduction to police patrols, and fire department's done several things with us. And many of the other activities include swimming, fishing, camping, and horseback riding. We got a local motorcycle club. 4 or 5 of their motorcycles will come out, and they'll give the kids and adults rides on the motorcycles. Actually, they go around maybe a couple mile ride there. And we do the paddle boat races. Now this is an interesting thing. That's they really enjoy this. It's we put a sighted person in with a visually impaired person, and the sighted person has to wear a blindfold.
No, the visually impaired person has to wear a blindfold.
Why would they need it?
Because the sighted person tells them how to steer it.
That's right. Okay, I had it backwards. I'm sorry. Yeah, and the sighted person tells them how to steer it. They have to go across the pond and touch a dock and then turn around and come back. And it's a lot of fun. We've all enjoyed it. We've all done it. Everybody has fun with that. Games and campfire discussions and things. Money, like I said, money is, these things are expensive to put on. It runs us about $2,500.
About 3,000
per year for a 3-day event. And this is all inclusive. It don't cost anything to go. We pay for it all. We've had people that come from far away, and we've offered gas cards to help them out to get there. So we do some fundraising to promote this, and this would have been our 7th year of actually having it, but due to the COVID-19, it did not happen. We're hoping this year we'll be able to do it, but we'll have to wait and see to what's going to go on. You got anything?
Oh,
Okay.
you covered it pretty well.
I covered it pretty well. This has been an exciting thing for myself and the committee. We just have so much fun with this. I mean, we can't wait till it's there. we're glad when it's over with because it is a 3-day weekend and we spent that's a lot of work.
You know, what I think is interesting is that we're talking under how to put the fund in fundraising, where actually ours isn't a fundraiser. We have a lot of fun, but it seems like we're the ones having to raise the funds in order to get this put on. And we can't thank all of those people that have donated either time or money or whatever to help promote this program and be a part of it. I think the biggest thing about raising funds for us is we don't go out and actually do any kind of like fish fry or chicken barbecue or anything like that to raise funds. We have been very fortunate in club donations and other entities that have donated it. So it's just a matter of going out and asking for money. And as you know, you ask and most of the time you will receive.
Right.
Well, it sounds like this type of a fundraiser is almost better for the people giving it as much as it is for the people receiving this information, which is what so much of our service does involve, is a sense of accomplishment for the people involved and for our Lions, as well as those that need to be able to get out and experience it. I think I was expecting to hear a little bit more about fishing instead of horseback riding, police cars and dogs,
Well,
but this is quite you are fishing quite
Yes,
a
we
lot
are.
of different ways.
There is a time first thing on the Saturday morning after registration. They fish from around 9 o'clock until noon, right before lunch.
But that's the contest time, and we have different categories like biggest fish, most fish, and we have that. When we started out, the program was directed at youth, anyone 18 years of age or younger. But then throughout the years, we found that the adults were just as much interested in the program as the children were. And so now we've had to divide that into big fish, little fish, most weight or whatever, into the youth and the adult group. So that's been kind of fun. And then throughout the rest of the weekend, you know, after the contest is over, they can fish.
Whenever they want.
Whenever they want, yeah.
Well, I think this has been very informative, and we really appreciate the fact that you've shared your time with us. And it's amazing how quickly 10 minutes can go when we're talking on a subject such as this matter. So we'll save our questions if we've had any questions come up, and we'll come back to PDG's Kevin and Connie here at the end. Our next speaker will be coming up here, and that speaker is Cheri Hammersmith from the Riley Township Club in 25C. And she's going to share with us, it's almost another service project as well. And she's going to be talking about how the club raised over $4,000 last year for some homeless veterans in the Wabash Valley area. Cheri, would you give us some of your unique experiences that you encountered during this?
Yes, good afternoon. As Linda already said, my name's Cheri Hammersmith, but I'm better known to some of the Lions around the state as Cheri Wright. I joined the Riley Township Lions Club back in 1988, but I left for about 5 years because of personal demands. I was the first woman in the Riley Lions Club, the first woman in the United States to receive the Senior Master Key, and I was also on the very first Midwinter Conference Committee back when it started 32 years ago. As we all know, Lions are notorious for holding all kinds of fundraisers. Everything from fish fries to festivals. Although Lions love the camaraderie of working together with their fellow Lions, that's what it is, work. Remember your carefree days in high school before adulthood took over your life? Remember the anticipation of picking out that perfect prom dress or tux, or ordering the perfect flowers for your date? Or maybe you didn't attend your prom at all. Well, the Riley Township Lions Club decided to think outside the box and take a trip down memory lane last year with a second chance prom. This was a prom for adults only. Little did we know what was in store for us, for the world in 2020 when we planned our event. So our prom was really a godsend since many of our lives were turned upside down by the pandemic. We held our prom last February before all the lockdowns and quarantines were put in place. Our club president, Bob Steele, had heard radio stations and other organizations in Indianapolis and other areas that had presented the second chance proms. So he brought that idea before our club for an idea for a fundraiser. We wanted to heed the advice of then District Governor Tom Robbins when he made his official visit to our club. He stressed the importance, he stressed that serving our communities should be first and foremost. So we thought this was an excellent opportunity to showcase our Lions Club in our community and let people know all the good that the Lions do. First, we decided we needed to find a cause that would strike a chord with the widest array of people. So our club decided to choose two local groups, the Loyal Veterans Battalion and Reach Services. Both organizations offer much needed services and help to the veterans and homeless in the Wabash Valley. Reach Services' mission is to improve the life and well-being of low to moderate income individuals with special needs and their families. Many of our armed service veterans are returning home only to find minimal or non-existent services or support they need. Reach provides services to veterans, showing our community's gratitude. Their services include case management, support, advocacy, emergency homeless shelter, and guidance with the VA system. In addition to these services, they also aid in acquiring support animals, adaptive equipment, food, clothing, and support groups helping veterans reach their unmet needs. All of this in addition to helping people in our community with disabilities. The Loyal Veterans Battalion recently celebrated their 3rd anniversary of their founding. Their mission is to feed, clothe, and comfort the homeless veterans and needy of Vigo County. They have a clothing closet that is open to all in need, and they just completely gutted and remodeled a house for a veteran in our area. To qualify to move into the home, the candidate must be a veteran who's been homeless for at least 5 years and a veteran for at least 10 years. It didn't take long to find a veteran and his fiance to move into the 1-bedroom, totally remodeled home. All of the materials and labor were donated for the house. There's a sign on display in the front yard with the names of the companies donating services and materials, along with the Riley Lions Club with our Lions logo for everyone to see. This was just another way to get our Lions name out in front of the public. The Loyal Veterans were recently gifted a second home, and the plans are underway to remodel that home as well. Since the prom last year, we brought in several new members because they could see what the Lions could accomplish in our community if we worked together. So not only was it a successful fundraiser, but it was another avenue to bring in new members. Our club was very fortunate because we had an event center donate the use of their building for our event. We secured sponsorship from area businesses to help pay the expenses of the live band and other items. We decided to serve appetizers during the evening and contacted both Popeyes and Chick-fil-A asking for donations. We were overwhelmed by their generosity. Chick-fil-A donated 4 trays of chicken chunks with assorted sauces, and Popeyes not only donated chicken strips, but a full meal with sides for 200 people. This was of a twofold benefit since all the sides and the other leftover food were donated to the Lighthouse Mission, another shelter for homeless in our area. Pepsi Refreshment Services donated soft drinks and water. Frito-Lay donated individual bags of assorted chips, and Gordon Food Service donated plates. The remaining food items were donated by club members, so this enabled us to give more money to the 2 organizations. The event center was responsible for a bar service, so they were able to make a little money that evening. Since they had a cash bar, we had to specify that the event was for adults 21 and over. Because the cash bar was on site, we were required to have 2 security officers on hand. And again, luckily, the Lions were able to get 2 off-duty police officers to donate their time instead of the usual $100 per guard fee. Club members were able to get a variety of door prizes and raffle items donated from local businesses. We sold the raffle tickets for $1 each or 6 for $5. We had the raffle items on display along with the numbered and along with a numbered bag that corresponded with the prize. And people were able to drop their tickets into whichever bag they chose that they wanted to make a bid or hope to win. A former club member also had a photo booth that she set up and took prom pictures for anyone wanting to purchase one. She didn't charge the Lions for her services, and she even donated part of her profits directly to the two groups. Another caveat of the evening was that the Riley American Legion and the Sons of the American Legion were so excited that we were collecting for veterans that they presented their own checks to the two organizations that night. Club members posted flyers on their individual Facebook pages and on our Riley Lions Facebook page as well. We sent notices to local newspapers, radio and television stations, and 3 club members even did a live radio segment called The Breakfast Bribe to advertise our event. After we began planning our prom, we learned there were 2 other adult proms planned in the area, but luckily ours was the first and we were well planned and well attended. We felt that helping the veterans in our area and the homeless also contributed to our success. During one of the band's intermissions, we were giving out door prizes. We posed a question to the crowd asking that if they were having a good time. We received a resounding yes. When we asked if we made it an annual event, would they come back again? And of course, they all said yes. In fact, there was so much talk from the prom attendees following the event that they have generated even more interest to their friends and others in the community. Last year, we sold advance sale tickets and we were hoping to have between 150 and 200 people. We set up tables for 180, feeling optimistic, but were pleasantly surprised when we had to set up additional tables because of the tickets sold at the door. The prom was a fun way to benefit the two organizations. People loved getting dressed up and dancing, and even those who didn't dance enjoyed the music and fun times. Little did we know when we hosted our prom last February, it would be one of the last large gatherings for many, many months because of the pandemic. We originally planned our second annual Second Chance Prom for this February, but again, with the governor's COVID restrictions, we have postponed our prom this year until April. Hopefully the restrictions will be lifted or lessened by then with the vaccines being administered. We will postpone again if it's deemed necessary. And we even went to the trouble to have our tickets printed without a date in case we do need to postpone. Our tickets are sold on a first come, first served basis, which most likely we will have to limit the number of attendees for safety reasons. We're currently taking names of interested parties without collecting monies until we know if the prom can continue as planned in April. That way we eliminate having to refund monies that we've collected should we need to cancel. People who have requested tickets will be automatically assured that they will have a ticket, but we are limiting those sales to the first 250 people because of COVID. Our first year, we were able to donate $1,841 to each organization from ticket sales and raffles. This did not include the donations received from the Legion groups and the photo booth. Not only was it a great time for club members and attendees, but both organizations were so appreciative and shocked that we were able to donate so much money to them. We had a check presentation for both groups at our club meeting following the prom. Each group then presented a program for the evening, telling members what services their organizations provide for the community. It made us really proud to be of assistance to their causes. There's a saying that goes, all work and no play makes Jack a dull boy. The proverb says that without time off from work, a person becomes bored and boring. So here's a chance for your club members to have a good time while serving your community. After the year we've all had, people will be looking to celebrate, so hopefully we will have another successful prom this year. If anyone would like a copy of the donation letter we sent to area businesses, feel free to email me at Cheri, that's CHERI 0726@AOL.com, and I'll be happy to share what we used. Hopefully some of you will even attend our prom and find out what fun and fellowship we can have while helping out a great cause. There was little work for the Lions Club members, but a great time was had by all. We put the fun in fundraising. We had people attend that were anywhere from 21 to 81 years old. So it's a good cause that'll take care of a wide array of people. Like Linda said, we'll entertain questions at the end.
Well, thank you very much. We appreciate that information. PDG Mary Jane, do you want to take it back and introduce the next guest?
Sure. Our third presenter for the day is immediate past president Jason Randlett from the Carmel Lions Club in District 25D. At the beginning of the COVID epidemic last spring, the Carmel Lions came up with a very innovative way to serve both community and to make a little money. Lion Jason will be offering information on a fundraiser with a unique twist. Smoking for a cause, saving lives. Lion Jason?
Thanks, Mary Jane. So first of all, I'd like to tell everybody that our fundraiser started during COVID. So to take you guys back a little bit, it was March 2020. The state of Indiana had shut down, club events had shut down entirely. And our goal as a club, as a president, my goal was to figure out how to re-engage people back into our club. And so the first thing we did, given the COVID environment, was figure out how to get our members safely back on our club grounds doing projects. And so we started with outdoor projects. We actually created a COVID project, an outdoor patio. And so we slowly started to work people back onto our property. And as we did that, we thought about, we need to create a service project that helps everybody. And who's the most in need at this time? And we decided that the food pantries were the place that we needed to serve. And so we thought about, how do we raise money for these food pantries in our local area in the most effective manner possible while being COVID safe? And so we decided that we would look at some sort of food-based event, but before we could even start, we had to encourage our members to come back and start having meetings again. And so in April of 2020, we came back to our clubhouse and we created a COVID safe environment, and we invited our members to come back and do a carry-out dinner. And to much of our joy, our members came back and they smiled behind their masks and they waved and they picked up their dinners and they went home. And we engaged them and we said, look, we think we can pull this off. We think that we can create an event in which we can serve our community and we can serve food and we can be safe. And so now we had to create our event. And so to tell you guys how lucky we are as a club, we brought on 20 new members throughout 2019 and 2020. And in that membership, in that new membership, we brought on 2 new members, Claude and Linda Wood. And Claude, AKA Woody, helps our club tremendously by sourcing a large amount of meat at the end of each year. So in January of 2020, we ended up with 1,000 pounds of frozen meat at an exceptionally good price that we had in our freezers. And so we thought to ourselves, we have all of this meat and we have a need out there for it. We can just go ahead and open up our freezers and we can start to donate our frozen meat to the food pantries. And let's assume at this time that we're paying $1 to $2 for a chicken. So we could donate all of our frozen chickens and whatever meat we had to the food pantries. And we could email our members and we could say, hey, we did this. I want everybody to feel good. This is great. We did this and we're done. But if you take that same $1 to $2 chicken and you put a little bit of time and effort, you thaw the chicken, you cut the chicken, you prepare the chicken, you smoke the chicken, you can now sell each half of that chicken for $7. So you just turned a $2 chicken into a $14 chicken, and you've created a service project. So the concept of what we were going to do was created. And now we needed to go through the process of creating an actual project. And so I reached out to another new Lions member and a very good friend of mine, Brian Ferry, and his wife, Rachel. And I said, here's the concept we're trying to play with, and we need a name. And within 5 minutes, they came up with smoking meat, saving lives. Beautiful. Now we had a concept. And after we had a little bit more discussion, Brian said, well, are we just smoking meat? People come up and they pick it up and they go home. And would they go to restaurants, and could we create a progressive dinner? And so now in the city of Carmel, they would just progress down through all the different restaurants. And we decided very quickly that was a cluster. We were not going to try that. What we decided instead was to look at each one of their menus and pick those items that we thought could serve our menu the best. And so we reached out to our restaurant partners and we said, here's what we want to do. What we want to do is we want to create the world's best menu, or at least the one-day menu in Carmel. And we want to take your side items and we want to sell your side items at full market price. And we're going to give you 100% of those proceeds. We're not asking for anything. Because remember, this is April and May of 2020, and still to this day, our restaurant partners, they're hurting pretty bad. And so our goal wasn't to ask those restaurant partners to give to us. Our goal was to help our restaurant partners, to help those in our local community that are business leaders. And so we went to specifically local restaurants and we said to each restaurant, we're going to take these 2 items. And at the end of the day, we took 20 items from 10 various restaurants and we added them to our menu. And we created an online menu that was absolutely fantastic. Second to none. It was the best looking menu I've ever seen. We had smoked chicken, we had brats, we had pizza rolls, we had crazy sticks, we had everything. It was absolutely delicious. And so now we needed to get this menu online. So with the help of another member, Jeff Adair, we reached out and we said, could you create a menu? And we don't want to take any cash on hand. So this has to be 100% credit card only. And we have to go to each one of these restaurants. So this needs to be 100% pre-order. You're going to put our menu online for us. We're going to take all of our orders in advance, and then we're going to shut down our orders, and then we're going to fulfill all of those orders. And so Jeff put an menu online, linked it to our website, and then we reached out to our membership and we said, okay, we have a menu online. We want you to help us. We want to promote this event. We hope that you order from this event. But what we most need is we need you to help us promote this event. And so we engaged our membership to engage their social media and reach out and promote our event. And we gave ourselves roughly 2 weeks of lead time for this event to go off. And so we started in the first 2 weeks and we had a big push and we pushed within our membership and we pushed out to social media. And then every 3 to 4 days, we reminded our membership, push again, push again, push again. And so we did these soft touches into our community on our Facebook page, on Twitter, on Instagram, and we kept promoting our event. And we slowly saw our numbers rise and rise and rise. And because we needed to give our restaurant partners an exact order for this event, we had to cut it off within 2 days of the event. And so 2 days prior to the cutoff, we started to explain to the general population that this sale is going to end. And our numbers doubled. And then the next day we said, this is our last day, and our numbers doubled again. And so we created a fantastic problem for ourselves. We sold a lot of food. And our members jumped in and we created a conveyor belt inside of our clubhouse. And this has to be COVID friendly. So this is 100% masks, gloves. Not a single patron got out of their cars. We created a drive-through event, and we understood that a drive-through event, given our location, we would have them come in off of First Street, which enters our parking lot. But we knew how many customers were going to come in a 2-hour window. And we knew that that was going to cause a mile-long traffic jam. And so what we did to mitigate this issue is we sent our members down to the street and we picked our most outgoing, gregarious members we could possibly find, and we had them stand in traffic. And we said to them, please engage everybody who's coming through, smile, thank them, stay 6 feet apart. We reached out to one of our restaurant partners who happens to be a Mexican restaurant, who happens to be close to the proximity of where this traffic jam was going to occur. And we said, hey, we're going to have a lot of cars. And if you wanted to sell margaritas, that might be a good spot to do it. And so they created Margaritas to Go. And the faces of the people that came through our drive-through event was just absolutely fantastic. And we asked our restaurant sponsors, we reached back out to them, and each one of them sold roughly $1,000 somewhere dollars worth of merchandise. We gave checks back to our restaurant partners, and we asked them, some point in time in 2020, what we want you to do is we want you to give $100 either in cash or food to a food pantry. And so automatically we generated $1,000 of donations to the food pantries from our restaurant partners. And we gave them all the time in the world to do it. And we let them donate food, which they probably had available anyway, given the environment. As our customers came through, we served 1,281 items. We smoked 600 pounds of meat. Without Linda and Claude Wood and having 2 industrial smokers, there's no way we could have pulled off this event. Without our membership, we had 30 volunteers show up on site to be able to negotiate the intricacies of everyone's menu as it came through. Everything, 100% pre-order. We didn't take any cash on site. Patrons were nice enough to line up in their cars. They would tell us their order number. We would convey it back to our clubhouse. And by the time they got to the front of the line, their order was there and we handed it to them and they left. Of the 30 Lions that helped us that day, 20 of them were brand new members. 20 Lions who had been in our club less than a year and a half stepped up and are to this day some of our best members. And we didn't exclude those members who had been in our club forever. We understood the concern. We understood that they didn't want to be forced into a COVID environment. And we reached out to each one of them and we said, hey, here's what we would like you to do. What we would like you to do is consider giving, because at this time, we're going to focus all of our time and attention at the food pantries where need is most. And what we'd like you to do is help us help Lion State projects, because we're going to have to take from our budget and we're going to have to give to these food pantries. And this is money we would have allocated to state projects. So instead, what we'd like you to do is we'd like you to step up and put in a donation. And if you do, we will match your donation. And so we were able to fulfill our budget giving for the 2019-2020 year through the generosity of our members stepping up and giving directly to Lions projects. And so as a result of this event, we contributed $3,400 in gross sales to our restaurant partners. We raised $6,000 for food pantries between a combination of our sales, sponsored donations, and direct food donations. We raised $2,400 in matching grants for Lion State projects, and we raised $2,700 for future Lions projects. All told, this single event that we just made up in March, we just made it up. This single event raised $15,000, and we just pushed it right out into our community where it needed it the most. We got 2 weeks of solid Facebook coverage. We got paper coverage because we reached out to the Current and Carmel and we told them about our event. And not only did they help us promote the event, but they gave us an article afterwards thanking us for the event. This was one of the only event that happened in Carmel in 2020 during COVID, because the city of Carmel shut down. They were so concerned with having large public events that they shut down all public events. Carmel Fest was shut down, the parade was shut down, the Arts Festival was shut down. We reached out to the mayor and we said, we can pull off our event, we can keep people safe. And the city of Carmel got behind us and they supported us and they allowed us to hold our event. And we did something no one else did. We did an event in the middle of COVID. We pulled it off. And to this day, at our last meeting, we still have new members joining our club because they participated in that event. And they reached out to me and they said, hey, I really want to join the Lions Club. And I said, come on in. And right now with COVID, we're back to Zoom meetings and we can't wait to get back to our clubhouse and we can't wait to serve our members. And this event was the epitome of how great the Carmel Lions Club is, that we could figure out how to overcome COVID. That's all I got.
Thanks, Jason. Great presentation from all of our presenters today. Lion Linda?
I think that Mary Jane summed it up. This is what brings us together. This is what brings our new members in. Hearing from these presenters today gives you a wide variety of how we can strive to be better. Jennifer, do we have any questions come in, or do you want to open this up for any questions for a few minutes? I think we still have about 3 or 4 minutes left, whatever you want to say.
Okay, I know that there was one question for the rows as far as how many visually impaired people were invited to that event.
This is Kevin. Right now we have around 20 between kids and adults. We could probably go up to about 10 more, 30 altogether with the restroom facilities and things. But beyond that, we'd have to put in another restroom, I believe.
Yeah, and I think the question was how many were invited, which is totally different than how many actually showed up. The how many are invited is through the whole state of Indiana, and that is done through a lot of the research outreach programs. The information is given to the school, and I don't know, Lion Robin, if you're on, you might be able to better answer how that all gets. But we do a brochure and an application each year, and that gets sent out to the entire state through all the different email addresses.
I did
and then
answer.
it's just a matter of,
Hey,
yeah.
Connie. I did answer that. We send the information down to the school for the blind. I've got a master outreach email list that we blast and email to those teachers within the state, as well as support from the superintendent at the school. Because of course they're kids, we don't get their personal information, but the school does assist us in getting that. And we've got Barbara Price works with, is it Price? Did I get that right?
Yes.
She works with BOSMA, so she is in contact with a lot of adults that are blind or visually impaired, and she helps spread that word. So we do what we can. As far as the kids, it's hard to get to them.
Well, thank you very much, everybody, for all the extra information. If anybody has any questions that they think of later, feel free to email us. I have given every GST and every district a list that they help compile through brainstorming of of global service ideas, things that can be done during during the COVID time now, and things that can be done afterwards, things that we need to be planning for the future, because hopefully we're not always going to be under these COVID restrictions, that we're going to make progress and get out from underneath this. So if you're struggling to come up with an idea for a service, a way to attract new members into your club, please let us know. We'll email you this list. It's got contact information on it. It has everything from something very complicated to something as simple as sending a get well card or a thinking of you card in the mail. So thank you all very much. We appreciate everything you've done by sticking with us. It looks like we still have over 117 people still online, and I think that's fantastic.
Remember, it's fun to have fun in your fundraising.
It is. Kathy?
Where'd she go?
Got to get that unmute button there.
That's the hard part.
Yeah. Well, you guys still had a couple of minutes if you wanted it, because we were running a little behind when we started you earlier. So
okay.
I wasn't going to cut you off if you had any more questions out there. So that's what I was waiting to hear, if anyone else had a question for any of our participants in this seminar. But thank you, Mary Jane and PID Linda, for the wonderful seminar. All of these events give us examples of kindness for those in our community, as well as fulfilling our Lions motto of "We serve."